Welcome to the Swimming from Home talk show. I'm here with Emily Escobedo. Um, so I guess first of all, could you take me through, I guess, your last few weeks and kind of how you saw the COVID virus related shutdowns affecting your day to day?
Yeah, I was actually at the training camp in Colorado at the
Okay.
Olympic Training Center.
Yeah.
So we were up there, and originally I was planning on staying for 10 days.
Okay.
And then when all of this started happening and pools started closing, I was like, let me stay here as long as I can. So I changed my flight. I
Hmm.
wanted to stay indefinitely as long as the place was open because all the pools around me back home in
Yeah.
New York shut down.
Yeah.
Um, and so they were okay with that. And then, the day after, it was just like something that everything changed. So it was really stressful for a lot of us there because we didn't know if we were going to get stuck there. We didn't know if we were going to get kicked out. Anytime a USA Swimming staff member came onto the pool deck, we were like all nervous, thinking that they were going to tell us that the camp had shut down.
Yeah.
So it kind of went back and forth. First, they told us that we could stay until Saturday.
Mhm.
Or actually, first they told us we could stay till Wednesday just because of how things were going. And then they switched it to a Saturday. And then the day before, like we found out that the camp had shut down and the governor had shut the Olympic Training Center down. So
Okay.
we had to get out that next day. So that was like kind of pretty stressful, not really knowing what was happening. The flight home was relaxing because no one was on the flight, but it was also very scary to be on a flight that was, so limited in numbers. I had nobody. It was like a three-seater. I had nobody next to me. There were maybe 30 people on the flight, and that's when it kind of like hit you like, oh my God, this is really, really serious, because we had kind of all been cooped up in our little OTC bubble. We were just on the campus and we weren't really going anywhere, so we couldn't see that much. We were just listening to the news. So
Right.
um, definitely emotionally stressful, just from all the fear and unknowns. And I think once we kind of got to the point where we had a little bit more information, it became a little bit easier to manage.
Yeah. And so once you got home, kind of what's your situation been like since then?
So once I got home, all the pools were shut down, but the pool directors were still going in to keep the pools running.
Hmm.
So one of the colleges, the pool director there got permission from the college for me to go in and swim there on my own, like in a lane by myself, which was really, really nice. So I was there for a couple days swimming there. And then once we went on that government shutdown, um, that wasn't possible anymore. So I'm really grateful. I work at a company called Swim Labs, and they have infinity pools. So I haven't been there in a while because just like with the travel and stuff, but I am still an employee there. And I think that the family is the nicest and the managers are the greatest. And they are allowing me to swim in one of the Swim Labs pools. So it's not the same as being in a 25-yard or 50-meter pool, but it's definitely better than nothing. And I can get a little bit of a workout in and float around and splash around and just try and keep the feel for the water. So I'm really, really grateful for that.
Yeah, definitely. You're, how far from New York City are you?
I'm like 10 miles north of the city.
Okay. So you're kind of in the thick of one of
Yeah.
the biggest outbreaks.
Yeah. I live in New Rochelle. So
Okay. So yeah, so
yeah.
how obviously you spent a lot of time at home when you're not at said infinity pool, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I just go once a day. And actually, once the Olympics got postponed, I took a couple of days off, thinking like this is the perfect time to take a break, and I still believe it is the perfect time to take a break. But for me, just not having that structure and not having that schedule and not really knowing what's going to happen in the day, I was kind of getting really down. I just didn't know what to do with myself. So I just feel better when I'm swimming. It's like a stress relief for me. So even if I go just for an hour and splash around in the pool or do some sprints, it definitely makes a big difference. But
Yeah.
yeah, when I'm not swimming, I'm trying to stay off Netflix. In the beginning, I was definitely watching a lot of shows, but I'm trying to limit that. I do like some gym workouts. I have a little gym set up. I bought TRX cables, yoga mat. So I've just been trying to do different things. I take my dog for a lot of walks. um, just trying to stay fit and stay healthy.
Yeah. What
Active.
what what was the best thing that you've watched on Netflix so far?
The best thing. Well, I just finished the Tiger King series.
Yes.
because I had to get on that bandwagon. And I'm a little bit confused at what the message was, but I enjoyed the show.
Yeah.
I thought maybe there'd be like a protagonist and an antagonist, but all of the people seem to not be very great people. So I'm a little bit
Yeah.
confused by that. And you can't really pick a side when everybody kind of sucks, to be honest. But watching the tigers was pretty cool. Like seeing baby tigers, like who can say that they held and pet a tiger? So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I also watched All American, the second series,
Okay.
second season out. I think it's the second one. I watched that.
Is that a football
Frozen
show?
2 on Disney Plus. Yeah, it is a football
Frozen.
show.
Okay.
Yeah, Frozen
Gotcha.
2 might have been the best so far.
Nice.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
So when you found out about the Olympic postponement, did you have an initial reaction? Were you relieved? Does that change kind of your course of direction at all?
A little bit. I think just any athlete looking forward to the Olympics, that's like the one thing that's always constant in the world is the Olympics. So I think that the change was stressful on everyone, no matter, I mean, it's for sure the right decision. And I understand that and I acknowledge that. And for the safety and health of the people of the world, it is for sure the right decision. But, the Olympics comes around every 4 years and it always comes around every 4 years. So that change kind of let me see the magnitude of it all. I think I had a lot of emotions, to be honest. I was sad, disappointed, I was relieved, stressed. It kind of took the stress off of training right now because I don't have to worry about it. And we can't train right now in the current circumstances the way that we should be training.
Mhm.
But it's also it's kind of sad. You plan your future, you plan your swimming career, and then a change like that is going to have some effect. So I've definitely come to accept it now a little bit more. I'm realizing, hey, this isn't the worst thing. I got another year to train. I got
Mhm.
another year to try and improve and be my best. But then also thinking about it, you're like, oh my God, another whole year of this. But
Yeah.
it's definitely for the best. And I think I'm hoping to come next year and be a lot stronger than I am this year. And maybe I'll have a better shot.
Yeah. Do you think from like an athletic performance standpoint, um, do you think that being out of like a normal training routine, like only being able to swim in an infinity pool for potentially months could be beneficial looking forward for you
Um,
particularly?
it's kind of hard to say. I guess it depends on how long this lasts. I think that there's always something that you can improve on outside of the pool that can benefit your swimming a lot. So it's like swimming, kind of like swimming from home. Like you can't swim, but you can do other things. So
Yeah.
I think that's definitely something positive to look for. I'm trying to find like all the little things that I can do, flexibility, small strengthening, a lot of core strengthening I'm going to be working on. I think when swimmers get back into the pool, they're going to come back like in the best shape of their lives outside of swimming, and then hope
Right.
that kind of fits in.
Yeah.
But even just like, I think a little break, it might be the break that a lot of people needed. Swimming is such a mentally and physically demanding sport, and just taking a little bit of time. I mean, obviously, we don't want this to go on for months and months, but a little bit of
Yeah.
time outside that kind of gives you the ability to relax and refocus and, you know, let your body have a break. I mean, I've been sleeping in till like 8 a.m. Like, when's the last time I was able to sleep till 8? I don't know. And I can sleep in and I can get a full night's sleep. And, that stress, it's there in a different way, but it's not that physically demanding stress that we're typically used to. So I think that if everybody just kind of focuses on the little things that they need to work on, that, yeah, we can come back in pretty good shape.
Yeah. Have you picked up any habits, like non-swimming related habits, or I guess swimming from home habits, like things that will kind of might improve you in other ways outside the pool? Not, I guess, not just like, oh, I'm working out outside the pool, but, things that you might do on a daily basis that you wouldn't normally do now.
Well, I've been praying a lot more, which is probably a good thing. I'm praying for the
Yeah.
world and for the health of people. And I think that that's something I can definitely take with me, and kind of like meditation, relaxation, things like that, I think can improve your life and well-being as well as like your sport. So
Yeah, definitely. Have when you do go outside, is it a pretty surreal experience, or do you feel like, oh, this isn't like this is kind of normal now?
I've been trying to get outside at least like every day when it's not raining. It's finally starting to get pretty warm here. We're getting days in the high 50s and it looks like it'll be coming into the 60s and like nice and sunny. So when
Nice.
I am outside, I am like loving it, just going on walks and just staying in the backyard, just soaking everything up. But yeah, when I go to the grocery store, like
Yeah.
the highlight of my week is when my grandma calls and tells me that she needs groceries and I have the excuse to go to the grocery store. Like I'm not going to be dumb and just go out whenever, I'm not going to go to the grocery store and walk around just trying to keep everybody safe and myself safe.
Yeah.
But when I do need to go to the grocery store, it's like, yes, I'm going to the grocery store. You're like taking like, it's things I take for granted, I guess, normally. I'm very safe when I go. I wear my mask and I wear gloves because I don't want to get anybody sick. I don't want to get sick myself. I carry around hand sanitizer. And that's kind of like the crazy thing is like, that's the normal right now is that when you go to the grocery store, you're trying to stay away from everybody. You're trying to stay 6 feet away from everybody,
Right.
just because you don't know who's there or if you might be carrying something, and not even know about it. So that's the crazy thing is that I think we took a lot of things for granted.
Yeah. I think the crazy thing is that you have hand sanitizer. How are you able to get it? Did you have to go undercover and pose as like someone important to get hand
Yeah,
sanitizer?
I have
What's
the
your
loop. I'll hook
secret?
you up. No, before I went on the training camp, my dad actually, before I was flying,
uh,
he bought me a bunch of hand sanitizer, like the little packets, and he
yeah.
probably paid $5 for like one of the little tiny squirt bottles. But because I was going to Colorado, he wanted to
Mhm.
make sure I had it on the flight. And I've been savoring it. I don't use it when I'm home. I only use it when I go out to try and
uh,
make it last for as
uh,
long as possible because yeah, you can't get that.
Dude, smart. Yeah, seriously. Yeah, I've tried and it's impossible. And it's kind of frustrating, but I also understand that,
Yeah,
a hot commodity right now.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Has this changed your diet at all? Like what you're getting at the grocery store, what you've been cooking for yourself?
A little bit. I've tried since we're not as active or I'm not as physically active. I've definitely tried to stay clear of all the junk food,
Hmm.
which is also hard because when you're home and you're watching a movie and you're bored, all you're gonna want to do is have some junk food. So
Yeah.
I've been trying to eat a lot of vegetables, a lot of fruit instead. Um, and just taking the time to like cook a little bit more. I mean, I think that a lot of us, our lives get away from us and we can't necessarily cook what we want,
Hmm.
or prepare or even eat what we want, and we're kind of like rushed and we just have to grab something on the way. And that's not the healthiest lifestyle. So I think this definitely, I can eat home cooked meals. I can take time. I can throw a bunch of veggies in, sweet potatoes all day long, and just
Yes.
try to focus on that too. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite meal that you like to cook or that you have time to cook now?
I'm not really a great cook, so I just stick to the veggies. I fry up a lot of veggies. I cook them in the oven. I saute them, sweet
Mhm.
potatoes all the time. But I'm really not gonna sit here and say that I cook a lot. I don't. I prepare food. That's what I do.
Right.
I put it in the oven. I cut it up and I put it in the oven, and I hope for the best. So
Well, hey, it sounds like it turns out pretty good.
maybe I can learn how to cook now that I have no excuse not to cook. If I have the time, I guess I should be doing something with it.
All right. Do you have something that you've found that you miss the most that you maybe expected not to miss?
Yeah, I just kind of miss the freedom of it, like I'm not gonna sit here and say that I like super like I go out and I hang out and I go hang out with people all the time. I feel like as swimmers typically we have like a very strict schedule. So like my days to like hang out with people are like Saturdays because I don't
Hmm.
have practice on Sunday, and I can stay up a little bit later.
Yeah.
So it's not like I miss going out and doing so much. I just miss the freedom of being able to. Like if I want to go take a drive and go somewhere or go for a walk or go walk around the mall or something. I think that's kind of what I miss most of all. It's just the ability to do so, because now if I were to do that, it would be selfish of me to leave my house and to not have that worry about other people. So I think that's probably the biggest thing I miss. I also miss going to practice and having a bunch of people there. And, that was kind of like something that I always loved practice. Some days I'd show up and I'd be like, oh, I don't want to swim, but I loved, going and meeting, seeing people and being able to interact in that way. So.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like a lot of, it's like I coach on a club team, and I know a lot of people who coach on club teams, and like from speaking to them and hearing their thoughts, like a lot of coaches are really missing those interactions with their athletes as well. And I'm sure the
Yeah.
athletes feel the same way, because, that's when they see their peers a lot of the times every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very bizarre to not have that, or to, I guess, get that taken away.
I swim on a club team as well. I swim for Condors, and they have been doing like nightly Zoom meetings with some of the coaching staff just to try and keep the team close. It's hard for, especially like kids a little bit, kids in the club team age, high school kids. It's hard for them to not interact with their peers on a normal basis. And so they've been doing like online Zoom calls, and I actually logged on the other day, and they were doing this crazy ab workout. Like they have like these crazy sets and abs that they've been doing, it was fun. It was good to see everyone and good to watch, but
Yeah.
it is, that's the hardest part. Also,
Yeah.
I'm in grad school, and I never thought I would say I'm sad that I'm not going to class, but I hate this online Zoom learning. It's not fun for me. I mean, it's nice that I don't have to take my slippers off and I can stay in my pajamas, but
Right.
it's I wish I could go to class and interact with people.
Yeah. So what are you in grad school for?
I'm in grad school for early childhood special education.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
So how has that affected that aspect of your day to day?
So that was actually a big thing, because all of our assignments in grad school deal with us going into schools and working with the kids. So I have like case studies and behavior things that I couldn't complete because we're not allowed in schools anymore because schools are shut down. So that was a big thing. So there was kind of like a lull in grad school where our professors had to go back and pretty much rearrange the entire syllabus for us and make all new assignments because these things we can't do anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably really hard for teachers right now. I'm not a full-time teacher, but I work with kids. I go to school. I typically go to school 3 days a week with and student teach. So that's a big thing too, is not being able to go see those kiddos and hang out with them, and it changes everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So does that affect like your graduation track, or like when you'll take certain classes, or like is everything pretty much on schedule still?
Yeah, everything's pretty much on schedule. I think that because this is such an unknown, that they're gonna handle it. They've been handling it the right way. So they just changed a bunch of our assignments. We're still focusing on learning, and we're just going to do it in a different way. So instead of having like a case study student in the classroom and observing them, one of my teachers is making us watch a certain movie and observe that child in the movie. So it's like going to be a very different experience. But luckily the semester was pretty much halfway over already. So we got a lot of that good interaction with the students done.
Yeah.
So they're able to kind of change it up a little bit and give us a little bit of a break, because that would really stink.
Yeah. I mean, that's very nice that they were able
Yeah,
to.
they've been accommodating really well.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, cool. Any closing thoughts you've got?
I don't know. I just hope everybody stays positive and kind of takes some time for themselves and figures out, what they love and what they miss, and not take things for granted anymore.
Yeah, definitely. Well, cool. Thank you so much for your time, Emily.
Of course. Thanks, Coleman.